Hey, Michelle, how are you today?
I'm good, Lindsay. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. What are we getting into in All Ears English today, Michelle?
Well, Lindsay, I have a question. What would you say is one of the top experiences that you've had in the past year?
Oh my gosh. I it's hard to say, but probably hiking in Slovenia was amazing.
Right.
Yeah, at that altitude and just being in a new place was awesome. It's usually a travel experience for me. What
Yeah.
about you,
Oh,
Michelle?
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I guess just it was a whirlwind of a year, and so I would just say moving in general.
Okay.
I don't know
Mhm.
if it was like the top experience, like as if you would be traveling, but it was pretty awesome to move into a house and just kind of start building a new life. So I would say
Yes.
that.
Yes. I love that. I love that. So, experience, you asked me about my top experience of the year. Is that what we're talking about today on the show?
We are actually doing a mini series. This is the first part. And guys, stay tuned because the second part is going to be about a different way to use the word experience. And we're going to do this over on the Business English podcast. So don't think if you're not, looking to excel at work, like if you're just listening for fun, you would like to do all ears English, this is still going to be helpful. This is not just for business, but it's going to be really good for the Business English podcast, to go ahead on over to that one and hit follow because that one is going to be coming out very soon.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, go ahead and hit follow, hit the follow button, guys, so you don't miss a single episode either here on All Ears English or over on Business English. But, Michelle, we do have some poll results to share today. Yes.
We do. All right. So this is from episode 2371, was Is This Seat Taken? And Lindsay, what was the poll question?
Okay, the poll question was this: Is it acceptable to save seats in crowded places in your
Mhm.
culture? We had a whole interesting conversation
Yeah.
around saving seats, and we
Yeah.
thought maybe it's kind of cultural, this idea of saving seats and especially saving more than one seat next
Right.
to you, right?
Yes, that was fun. So, yeah, so is it acceptable to save seats in crowded places in your culture? So, Lindsay, what were the results?
All right. So, our listeners, the verdict is yes, it is acceptable for 68% of our listeners, and no for 31% of people that are listening to the show. Very interesting breakdown here,
Yeah.
Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be curious to learn more about it. It's always those things that you don't think too much about, right? We
Yes.
don't think about, oh, saving seats around the world, but it's always when you travel, those are the things that you kind of pick up on how things are
Yes.
different, but you don't think about it ahead of time, right?
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely. Wow. There's so many differences around the world. But I think the thing that brings us together is the desire for connection. I mean, that's what we're coming together around here on the show. So, using the correct vocabulary words is one way to do that, right, Michelle? Love it.
Yeah, exactly. So, talking about experience, so we're going to talk about some really useful ways to refer to an important situation, something you've done, something like that. So, this is, when we talk about work experience, that's a kind
Hmm.
of a different way to use that word. So, we're going to talk about a
Yeah.
slightly special way to use it. So, okay, Lindsay,
Yes.
what's the first one?
Okay, so the first one we're talking about today is a or an experience, right? So this could be anything, right? A way to describe something that you've done. Again, like you said. So throwing out some common ones here, we have a wonderful experience, a terrible experience, a learning experience. What else, Michelle, might we say?
You could say an unforgettable experience, a unique experience, a special experience. Sometimes somebody might even say a once in a lifetime experience, right?
It's a cliche, but it's a good one, I think. Right.
Exactly, exactly. So let's do some examples here. So, well, this one is for me. It's I had a
Okay.
wonderful experience living in London. I will never forget it.
Oh, for sure. Any kind of, like we said at the top of the show, any kind of a chance to live abroad or travel is usually a wonderful experience. Sometimes it can be hard, right?
Yeah,
But wonderful. Yeah.
yeah,
Or here's
absolutely.
another example. I just had the best experiences I've ever had at a nail salon. Best experience I've ever had
Mhm.
at a nail salon. You have to go there. I actually went to get my nails done recently.
You did.
Before, yeah, I never do, but I had a photo shoot and I was like, oh, I have to do my nails, right?
Uh huh.
it was fun. It was like pampering. You put your nails in there and it was great.
Did you get a color or were
No,
you
no.
like a more of a neutral?
I just got the neutral, just the gel and the neutral.
Oh, a gel.
Yeah, gel. I
Oh.
know. So
Fancy,
fancy.
fancy. Yes, exactly. All right, here we go. You have to look at this as a learning experience. You may not love every minute of it, but it will get you to the next level.
So yeah, I think we do throw around this idea of experience and describing the experience a lot. And it's part of kind of coming of age too. In American culture,
Mm.
going to college is a learning experience. Separating from your parents when you're 18, 19 years old is an experience, right?
Yep. Yep,
Mhm.
exactly. I mean, Lindsay, what would you say you were talking about Slovenia, but any other experiences you want to share? I mean, what would you say
Mm.
has been your most unforgettable experience while traveling? I know that's probably a
Oh,
tough
it's a
question.
Yeah, they're all pretty unforgettable. I mean, living in Japan was it dramatically altered my life, right? I just had dinner with did I mention this on the show? I just had dinner,
Yeah, yeah.
with someone I hadn't seen in 20 years that I had not
Wow.
lived with in Japan, but we were very close and we were trained together as a group, and it changed me. When you go do something
Mhm.
like that when you're 24 years old, it changes how you envision the rest of your life, what kind of work you're gonna do, and how your life is gonna look, right? So that would be it for
Yeah.
me. Yeah. Mhm.
A absolutely. All right, love it. Okay, so another thing you can just say is and this is I love this. Do you
Yeah.
ever say, "It was an experience"?
Yeah, and I love this because we could say an awful lot and not saying very much, right? It's emphatic. It's generally used to say something was a little crazy, maybe a little chaotic. Maybe there's we're hinting at something maybe not that great, right? Let's give an example, Michelle.
All
Mhm.
right, little role play here.
Hey, I heard you took your kids on the plane. How was your flight with your kids?
Woo, it was an experience. Okay,
So,
when if you hear me say that, what do you like, what
well,
do I possibly mean?
I gather that you survived it or you came out of it, but it was not easy, right? That's the key.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
and
exactly, exactly.
maybe you don't wanna go into all the details for me today, but you're just I get it. Okay, all right. It was a little challenging what she did. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Something was a little wild. It could I mean, it could be positive, but it's mostly to say it was wild or chaotic. I mean, have you had any experiences like that recently?
Oh, wild and chaotic experiences like that, Michelle. No, not recently. Things have been relatively smooth, I would say. But although when I came back from California a few weeks ago, I was carrying back some heavy items and I had to like load up the suitcase and load it from the ground to pull it up into the overhead bin. That was kind of
Uh-huh.
unwieldy and crazy.
Ooh.
So, had to use the leg muscles.
Yeah, yeah. So you could say, "Oh my gosh, that was an experience."
That
Yeah.
was
So
an
for
experience. Yeah.
for me, it was going on the plane with both of my kids. That's a true thing.
I can't imagine. I don't even know. I've seen it on TV, but I just don't know how people do it. All right, Michelle, we are back. So, is there another way that we use this term experience?
Yeah, so this is one that comes about quite frequently, I think.
Mm.
Have you ever hear if somebody says you're paying for the experience? You
Yes,
hear that?
yeah, totally. Especially when we're paying too much for something, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
What kind of context would this
Okay.
would yeah.
So yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm pretty sure this one it was probably this episode was inspired by this expression because I feel
Mhm.
like this comes up a lot. So this is used when you want to say something maybe overpriced for the service provided or
Mhm.
simply that the quality isn't wonderful but there's something special or unique about it that makes it worth it. So
Mm.
to me I think like theme restaurant. Do you remember did you have something called the Rainforest Cafe?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, growing up, we loved to go to the Rainforest Cafe, and
Mhm.
I actually don't know how much it was because I was a kid, but I'm
Yeah.
assuming it was expensive. Um,
Yeah.
and it's a really cool atmosphere. It's not that there's anything special about the food, but you would say,
Yeah.
oh, you're paying for the
Yeah.
experience. Another one that I can think of is, did you ever go to the Stardust Diner in New York?
It sounds very familiar too. I mean, that one or what comes to mind for me is Benihana. Oh, yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's the ultimate, right? Because 'Cause you're paying to
Right.
watch people flip
Cook.
things in the air, and you bring kids, and they love it. There's onions flying, and there's fire going, and,
Yes.
you're
Any a
paying
hibachi, yep.
and the food's maybe not outstanding. You could get better Japanese food somewhere else, but you're paying for the experience, right? Mhm.
Yes, exactly. Or let me think. There was one I wanted to share. Wait, what's another? Wait. Oh my gosh, I'll come back to it.
Okay.
But so let's do a little role play.
Okay, here we go. So how's the food?
The food was okay, but really, that's not what it's about. You're paying for the experience.
Of course, of course. Acrobats at your seat? That's so much fun. And sometimes it's okay. Yeah, we have to decide,
Exactly.
when do we wanna pay for the experience?
Yes.
Maybe that's the event of the weekend, right? And that's worth
Right.
paying for. But sometimes you're thinking, "Okay, I just want good food," right? So I'm gonna go
Right.
somewhere low key and unknown, right?
Right. So that actually now I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna go back to the Stardust Diner. So the
Yeah.
Stardust Diner is a restaurant in New York, and it's very popular, and it's kind of aspiring actors and actresses who
Mhm.
sing at your seat. They not at your seat, but they kind of go all around the restaurant. They take turns singing, and they are incredible. I mean, they are just incredible,
Interesting.
incredible singers.
Yeah.
And but I wanna like and the food is diner food, and it's
Oh,
expensive.
diner food. Oh, jeez.
It's expensive food. I mean,
Oh,
it's
no.
like, I took my son there, and we got, like, a bagel and a tuna melt. I mean, this was, probably a year ago, and, it's just, overpriced. The food is
Okay.
overpriced, but
Yeah.
what you would say in that case is, "It's okay, you're paying for the experience." It's
Yes.
that there's something special that it kinda
Yeah.
warrants the extra money that you spend.
Yes, or we also say paying for the convenience, but that's another episode for another day, right? Another
That's
episode
a
for another day.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
for
like
sure.
a bodega or something.
A totally different thing. Yeah, for sure.
Totally different thing.
Okay.
But have you had any experiences recently that where you felt you were paying for the experience?
Well, like I said, Benihana, we went there
Right,
on
Benny.
I
Oh, you
went there
went
with my
recently?
extended family on Christmas Eve
Oh,
or around
okay,
the
okay.
holidays, and I was like, "Ugh, are we really going here?" I don't because but I didn't pay, so, my family paid, so I'm cool with it.
That's fine. So, all right. So that's a really fun one. I like that expression.
Yeah,
So, Lindsay, let's do a role play here. In
okay.
this role play, you just went to a new spa, and I am
Ah.
asking you about it.
Oh,
All
yes,
right.
okay, here we go.
All
Mhm.
right. So, how was it?
It was an experience.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. There were tons of people there, super crowded. I don't know, maybe I'll go somewhere else next time.
Oh, well, you could try my place. It's pretty expensive, but you're paying for the experience. They have the most beautiful rooms and play the best music, and the staff is so nice. I would say it's worth it.
Okay, maybe I'll call them. I wanna get the best experience possible.
Definitely. You deserve it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it makes me think of, have you ever heard of a beer spa? This is so
No.
so bad. So there is a beer spa in Denver, and I've been to it a couple times where literally, like, they put beer and hops in the water, and it's supposed to have
What?
anti-inflammatory properties. I'm not sure
What?
if I believe that, but, and then you can drink beer in the spa, it's a whole thing. So that is an
That's
experience, Michelle.
right. That's definitely probably paying for the experience. It's like
Yes.
something that's so unique or something
Mhm.
that's so special about it that
Yes.
you bake that into the price of the actual quality of something.
It's so
Um
crazy. It's so crazy. So that's the kind of thing, a once in a lifetime I probably wouldn't go back there regularly. I tried it once, didn't knock my socks off, you know? Bonus phrase for today, knock
Knock
my
my
socks
socks
off.
off. Yeah, I'm gonna put that one in there.
It's a great one. Well, let's go through the role play, Michelle. So what did
Let's
I
do it.
say? Mhm.
Okay, so I said, "So how was it?" And you said, "It was an experience." And when somebody
Mhm.
says that, you know there's more to the story.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot packed in there. There's a lot implied by saying that, and you have to use your intonation there.
Mhm.
It was, and then you did a pause and an experience.
Yeah, it was an experience. You definitely, and we can feel that there's a lot there, a lot of thoughts there that I have, right? I have a lot of thoughts here. And then you
We have a
said,
lot of
it's pretty expensive. You could try my place, meaning my spa. It's pretty
thoughts.
expensive. And what you mean by that is the spa near your home, in your neighborhood, the one you go to regularly, right, Michelle?
Right,
Right.
right. And I said, "But you're paying for the experience." And then I went on to say
Mm-hmm.
why. So I
Mm,
guess what I'm saying is there's nothing out of the ordinary about the actual massages or whatever you
right.
get, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so nice. It's pristine, right? Everything is
Mm-hmm.
great, so it's worth it.
I love it. And then I said, okay, maybe I'll call them. I want to get the best experience possible. So I'm just saying I want the best. Yeah, I want to go to the best place I can find. Right.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting episode because you would think experience is such a common word. It's everywhere, but we do use it in very specific chunks to mark the moments
Yeah,
of our lives, right? This is talking about the moments
yeah.
of our lives. Think about what we've talked about, Michelle, today: our travel experiences, times with our families at restaurants, relaxation. This is what is going to come up in conversation for
Yep.
our listeners. Right?
Yeah, exactly. This is really fun. So, guys, head on over. Make sure that you hit the follow button. Well, if you don't follow All Ears English yet, make sure you do that, first of all. But
Of
also
course.
head on over to Business English and hit follow because you will be getting part 2 of this series over there soon.
All right. Sounds great, Michelle. Well, I'll talk to you very soon. Take
All right.
care.
Bye, Lindsay.
Bye.